It's the kind of call that can go so terribly wrong. A welfare check last night on a suicidal man who lived above Winter's Bar on Main Street. For Officer Tom Decker, it would be his final call.
Officer Decker left his squad car and a very short time later was confronted by an armed individual, shot twice, and died.
From our preliminary investigation, it's apparent to us that the officer was ambushed at the scene.
An ambush allegedly at the hands of 34-year-old Ryan Larson. After an extensive manhunt last night, police found Larson right back at his apartment. In his mugshot, he hardly looks like a man who just killed a cop. Police scoured the scene today under porches and in fields, looking for any scrap of evidence. A dive team went into the Sauk River, apparently searching for the murder weapon, a sawed-off shotgun. Officer Decker and his partner first showed up here around 9 o'clock last night, but there was no sign of Larson. They'd come back an hour and a half later, and that's when Officer Decker was shot. In between that time, they handled the call of a runaway right down there at that yellow house.
He's a very nice cop. He was very professional. I mean, there was a lot of tears, but I mean, that was because the girl had to go back.
It's terrible that it happens in such a small town, you know, to people you know.
Officer Decker was a hometown boy, graduated from Ricori High School, returning home 6 years ago to what he said was his dream job. He was only 31.
Tommy was also married and had 4 children, all very young in age. We're going to miss him.
Ryan Larson was also a native son, but with a spotty history of minor run-ins with the law.
My daughter called me this morning and she goes, I know that Ryan Larson. He used to hang around with Joanna.
How and why fate brought these two men together is unclear, but for Cold Spring, it's a hometown tragedy on both sides of the crime tape.
We lost an officer, the community lost a citizen.